Meteor Impact.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are entering, you could say, the second part of our talks right now, and we are starting with community survey summary. So, as I've pointed out through this conference multiple times and over the past few months, there is a community survey running. So, feel free still feel free if you haven't already to fill it out because this year so far we did not have a good amount of responses, but let's jump right into it. Once again, my name is Jan Dvořák, aka Storyteller or Storyteller CZ on social media. I am the founder of the Universe, and I've been working with MeteorJS since 2015. I am a core contributor to MeteorJS, though I'm not with Meteor Software. I am with the community through MeteorJS community packages, and I've been also running these surveys since 2019. It's kind of alongside Impact and other activities that are happening. So in 2019, when this originally started, we had only 58 responses. It was because it was like very quick, very short, and it was closely related to the creation of Meteor community packages. Next year, we had 208 responses. In 2021, we had the most interest, so it was 299 responses. And in 2022, kind of went a bit down, 147 responses. So far this year, I think we are coming close only to 60, which is really not good. So I want everybody to encourage them to add in their responses so that we can have a good sample. So if you haven't already, you can use this QR code to go and fill it out, or follow the links in the shared notes or other places. We'll be closing the survey probably by the end of the month, latest, or sometime around that, and then publishing, could say, the findings and the full data set. So let's look. And we have about 23 minutes to really look through all of this. So let's kind of look at what we have so far. First of all, where is everybody from? As you can see, most replies are from America and France. I have to use this opportunity to kind of shame the Brazilian community that not even one of them, including the core developers, have filled out the survey. So guys, do better. Kind of see, that's the reason why the Brazilian community, or in general, like if you don't participate in these surveys, we're gonna show where you are from, then the companies and the community at large will think that you don't exist. So it's really a matter of also then where can we focus our efforts. For example, I know in South Korea there's at least one Meteor developer, and I know of other countries as well. So definitely this is not very representative. So I'm hoping after today we'll see more people from Brazil responding. Related to this is kind of the native language. So of course, primarily English, followed by French, Spanish, and then all the other ones. Most people really stuck, I would say, with Meteor since the beginning, almost. At least 2014, 2015, and 2016 kind of represent the biggest chunk. There's even some super early ones in 2013, and since then it's kind of 2018 is kind of, I would say, the bit of a outlier when it comes to people joining in. So it's definitely, we have, I would say, a lot of the old guard in around, or at least the people that are active in community, which is, I would say, also an important distinction, between people who actively work with Meteor and who are active in community. But that's for a separate talk altogether. Um, Out of the people who answered the survey, overwhelming majority using it at work, which is good to hear. Most of that is working at company, and when it comes to the sector, it's information technology is the biggest, followed by entertainment, education, and then the rest kind of goes into the other section. Interestingly, here is also healthcare and communication and utilities. So another interesting part, what operating system is used or people use for local environment. So that's half is Mac OS, then we have Linux, me, and then we have Windows, and Windows with VSL. I'm kind of surprised here, because I would expect that with the workstation Linux Windows with VSL, it would be bigger than just regular Windows. So I think that might be also kind of results of the work that the team did on making Meteor work on Windows much better. So I think it's reflected here. So let's jump into the usage. I think this is what everybody's really looking forward to. And this is, I would say, a lot of these new questions are heavily inspired by node.js survey that happened at the beginning of the year. And with this question, what's your operating system in which you are running Meteor in production? As expected, it's Linux with Docker, and then general Linux or other, probably like Galaxy deployments like that, are the rest. The production architecture is x64 with some x86 there. I would say the don't know is that usually when it's like Railway or Galaxy, they just handle that and we don't care. So where the heck is Meteor being hosted? And 20% is self-hosted, followed by AWS, hosting kind of on your own on AWS. And then interestingly, Galaxy and DigitalOcean are tied. And then we have kind of go more into the more local ones at Hetzner. I'm not exactly sure how you host on Cloudflare, but Cloudflare has really grown. So that's kind of where that goes. So a big one is using About Monte APM, one of our sponsors. So are you guys using it or not? Most people are. I think this should probably be bigger if we are serious about using Meteor in production. So definitely room for improvement here. Then going towards Galaxy, which regions would people like to see added? And that's Paris, and in Canada, Montreal, and in the west of US, Oregon, and then kind of the rest follows from that. So that's also kind of an interesting thing. I think in general, Europe with GDPR, everything is kind of looking for more hosting options in Europe. Another interesting thing, a few years back, there was the issue that Meteor kind of only used NPM for their packaging, and back then Yarn became big, and everybody wanted to use that. So there was an effort to make that happen. After all of that storm, we see that npm is the clear winner. And I think it was also kind of pretty much acknowledged by Yarn as well that npm has been the victor. Another big thing is also MongoDB, what that one is being, or which version is being used for. Most people are on version 8, which is the latest. Trailing that, of course, is version 7, and the second biggest is version 6. And if now I don't remember exactly, but I think we have version 6 is the latest one that you can have on Meteor 2, if my memory serves me correctly. So that's where the word that come from. See, somebody super old application uses still MongoDB 3.6. I think anything below 6, then you should seriously consider an upgrade. So it will still work, but for security and performance reason, I always recommend upgrading MongoDB. So what people are currently running for version of MeteorJS, that's version 3.3, which would be the latest version. So kind of comes together with always the latest. Majority, we still see some earlier versions of 3, but we also see quite a 19% running on version 2.16 or earlier, but thankfully that is decreasing. In production, it's a bit different story. The always the latest shrinks considerably. We still have actually almost a quarter running on some earlier version of 2.x, and we have almost a little bit over a quarter on running 2.16. And if we kind of add the rest together, that's some version of 3, or running the latest version 1. And I think there's somebody who is there's actually a few who run it earlier version of Meteor 1. I think there was one responder who is running like a Meteor in production that is before Meteor version 1. So still a lot of place for upgrades to happen. We already have that. Apologies. So when it comes to the big battles of front end, React with almost half, followed by Blaze. Blaze still strong. And then we have Vue and Svelte, and anything else kind of trails behind that. I'll probably try in the future to hopefully get more people to Solid, but React so far is the front end winner around Meteor, and I would say this would kind of reflect to a certain degree most of the other, like I say, general JS ecosystem. The only difference that Angular would probably replace Blaze in this one, or maybe Vue would be the second largest. So React dominates. The MDG team moved to GraphQL with Apollo GraphQL. The adoption in Meteor is pretty small, a little over 11%. So people are kind of sticking to the, say, real time and methods-based approach for data. So that is still king. And we'll have to kind of look probably more, or kind of add more questions in the future to see if people are still using the PubSub, or if they are switching more towards methods and data on that. Wait, did I Oh, okay. It looks like just Andrew tried to experiment here with it. When it comes to MongoDB, that one is baked, of course, with within Meteor, and but it's doesn't mean that that's something that you have to exclusively use. There are some workarounds to use other ones, and 22.6% people are using other other than MongoDB in Meteor as well. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's might be exclusive or inclusive together. Uh, and some people might have misrepresent or misinterpreted this question. It might be also potentially be for Redis oplog. So but then I've asked that, and a third is using Redis oplog. So I'm guessing, given the previous information, that there's still a lot of people using PubSub and optimizing with Redis oplog. So I've went and kind of look at the technical priorities of the core team and added that as an option, and kind of see what people feel are the most important. Tree shaking being the top, and followed by MongoDB chain stream bundle improvements and build process optimization. Which I think tree shaking will be a side effect of the new bundler. MongoDB chain stream are scheduled for Meteor 3.5, and there are other the bundle improvements and around building is coming in 3.4. So that kind of aligns with what the team has been looking forward to. So then we have some candidates and things that people have been asking for. Based on that, people want mostly to see performance improvements in the applications, followed by the development tools improvements, and then we have the DDP client and bringing Redis oplog to core. So kind of again going on the performance, and then we have modernization and a few other things coming up there as well. And looking kind of what's important to people, the top things that people are talking about is great APIs and docs, well-maintained standard package, predictable and stable releases, and on that same note, well-maintained users packages. So that one is a bit tough, and you can kind of see what else was mentioned as well. So I think, despite the dogs being pretty good already, we still need to put a lot more work into that, because that's what people are looking at a lot. So when it comes to satisfaction with dogs and guide, dogs have been doing pretty well. Guide, I would say, has been decreased with, because it has not been upgraded for Meteor 3. And the current discourse is that it will be merged into the documentation. So that is something that everybody can help with, and that we can kind of move forward as well. So going for Meteor community packages, everybody has heard about us, which kind of shows sadly that that's where most people have heard about the survey as well. And I did not manage to kind of get outside of our bubble. So everybody wants, or quarter wants to get the top priority to Redis oplog, followed by Meteor testing, collection 2, and more testing, and 4.7 CSS. That one got recently, or it's almost ready to be released, so that will be taken care of. So yeah, we'll have to spend some time on Redis oplog, which is a question if we'll spend that or if we'll merge that into core. So that's where that goes. When it comes to popularity of community packages outside of MCP, Zorin types wins, followed by Flow Router. and Austria files. So Dmitry, congrats. It's popular. Then we have the DB Percolate migrations package and the Synchron, which I'm both in favor to be merged into core. And then we have the Austria cookies, and then it's some other very popular. We see a lot of jam packages here, or jams packages. So that's also nice to see. And Iron Router is still hanging there after all those years. Then I also ask, kind of openly, what should people in Meteor community like pay more attention to, or what they should know about. The activity push package was the most mentioned, followed by the pretty much everything else. Maybe Southern Relay package is another outlier in that. So, and another thing to kind of mention here is the Paolo Mogollon's Nova package, about which we will hear later today. And of course, I forgot to mention, thanks Dimitri for reminding me, the Austria files package recently relatively had a release and release for Meteor 3, and recently also a feature release as well. So that's that, and collection 2 is being worked on Harry Adele and Jan Kuster, and they are planning some big improvements. You can read about it in chat. So kind of my top 3 findings. I think you might have some additional ones, and there will be much more later on once we read the freeform entries, which I didn't have time to analyze yet. So first of all, lack of responses. That's my fault for not being, trying to advertise it more strongly. I think the rating we saw on the guide, which was once a very cherished source of information, dropping, is worrying, and shows that we kind of need to redouble our efforts to move it into the docs and get it sorted out. Surprisingly, year on, or maybe not surprisingly, Meteor 3 migration is still ongoing and an issue. I'm hoping that next year, or whenever we have this survey again, we will be able to say that, okay, Meteor 3 migration has been done, and the ones that remain on the old one is just because it's legacy applications that will be replaced, or something along those lines. So that's been the findings. Now is the time for questions. So feel free to raise your hand, or just go straight ahead and unmute and ask, or kind of give your feedback. And if you have anything else to say about this, give me feedback on the presentation, or gonna add something that I've missed, feel free to use the Roti survey as well, or please use it. I really love it. So it's options to really give me feedback as well. Okay, or if you want me to kind of go back to some of the charts, let me know. I'll be happy to share that. Going once. I see Aaron typing, but again, you don't have to necessarily type the question. You can also unmute yourself and ask. So what are some of the interesting underdog packages? Let's see if we can kind of go here. I think from this, none of these are underdogs. All of these are pretty well established. Outside of this, I think definitely everybody should look at the Jams packages, especially PubSub, offline method, potentially easy schema, though that at least for me that one is less interesting. And Jam has also some other really really interesting for getting more attention. I'm want to really look more into the activity push. That might be pretty good. If you have anything that you need to upload anything, then Ostreophiles is your package. And I personally have to kind of look more into Southern Relay, but I think for the most part, it's not really that's something that interests me. And I'm looking to kind of hear from Paulo Magon later on about the Nova and where does that come in. So activity, let me get that up for you. I do believe we might have it in our, oh man, let's see. It should be potentially, I think if anything, it will be, let's go to Atmosphere and search there. So activity push is push notification for Cordova and web/PWA with Firebase. I think it's gonna goes from the rakes. Let me share the screen on that. So it goes, I think, from the rakes push package, and yeah, it's for push notifications. So that's something that I might need to look into in the future for my application as well. Might be especially interested in the PWA and aspect of that. So that's activity. There is an older package which is deprecated, but we still have it. So we might maybe do an update, or maybe I'll just archive it and tell everybody to use the activity, which is rakes push. That was kind of the original on that, and it's really focused on the Cordova push notifications.
Jan?
Yep. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a bit over. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay, I don't want to run into Kuster's talk if he's getting ready for that. But I was just going to say that one of the questions I would have been interested to see is, how many of the applications are actually internal versus external? Like, my company, we use that, only for internal apps. We use it for tooling, and so I'm kind of curious how many people are building, front-facing apps. I'm kind of curious how many people are running SaaS platforms based on Meteor. And then the other thing I'm kind of interested in is the categories of the types of applications that you might be running. Are you running social applications, communication applications, or marketplace applications, or other things, reporting tools? I think very interesting question to find out.
Definitely to expand on in the coming years.
Yeah. So thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, for all the hard work that you put into putting this survey together.
Now we just need to bully everybody else, especially from the Brazilian community, to fill this out before the end of the month. And with that, I'll pause the recording and have Jan get ready for talk.